Welcome to The Traditional Way. I'm your host, Brett Shumway. This podcast is brought to you by the Martial Arts Center Network, where you can find all things martial arts related on our social media pages and the main app, available on Apple and Google stores, where you can catch up on all the open circuit sport karate news with Inside Scoop, catch a movie review with Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, or find out what's happening in the Jiu-Jitsu and MMA worlds on the Winner's Circle, plus now exclusive content that is only available on the app. On this episode, we're going to take a look at the results from the second Premier League event that took place on the 13th to 15th of March in Rome, Italy for the first time. With 64 countries represented, the race to the grand winner status did start to set some athletes apart from the pack, so let's dive into what happened in Rome. The ladies start off with a couple of notable exits in the elimination rounds, as world number 6 Emma Scardelli and world number 2 Gulshan Ali Mardonova would both have short outings in the minus 50 kilogram division. In the quarterfinals, Marina Perfetto takes out Sara Susumi by a score of 7-2. Yorgela Salazar defeats Yu Chen Hisao 4-2. Celia Oiken edges out Hisin Yu Chan 1-0, and Ludovica Legitimo beats Shara Hubrick 8-3. In the final four, we saw two close fights where Salazar wins over Perfetto 6-5, and Oiken beats out Legitimo 2-1, setting up a final where Oiken made her first Premier League final since 2025, and it was Salazar's first since 2024. In this match, Salazar pulled out the 6-3 win for her 7th Premier League gold, as the former world number 1 looks to get back to form following the knee injury that has kept her off the podium for far too long. The Italians, Perfetto and Legitimo, take home the bronze medals. A couple of top 10 ranked fighters leave early in the minus 55 kilogram division, as world number 2 Angelica Torluga once again fails to make it out of the elimination round, leaving us to wonder if she will ever find her stride again. The world number 4 Nina Kvasnikova and the world number 6 Hana Deshe also exit in the elimination rounds as well. The final 8 start off with Luisa Alberici getting past Arishima 3-2. Viola Lalo takes out Su Ping Q 6-1. Sofia Liascalo defeats Ruan Mukai 3-1. And Nezra Sipovic defeats the world number 1 Alam Youssef 4-1. In the semifinals, Lalo defeats Alberici 5-1, and Sipovic beats Liascalo 4-1, setting up Sipovic's first Premier League final against Lalo, who is looking to put on a show in front of the home crowd, but would fall short as Sipovic beats her 3-0 for her first Premier League gold medal of her career. Alberici and Youssef take home the bronze medals. The world number 3, Alexandra Sholohova, fails to win a single fight in the elimination pool of the minus 61 kilogram division and would exit early, as this would be the only top 10 ranked athlete present that would leave before the quarters. The final 8 started off with Shara Shimada defeating Ingrida Suchkova 2-0. Emma Sipovic gets by Nursin Ali 1-0. Wafa Majub beats Mia Zorko 6-4, and the world number 1 Asel Kanai defeats Barbara Waikiman 2-1. In the final 4, Shimada defeats Sipovic 6-5, and Kanai gets by Majub 3-2, setting up a final between the world number 1 and world number 2 as they fight to a 3-3 tied match, where Shimada would get the nod from the judges and win by Hantai. This win also has the top 2 switch in the rankings, as Shimada is now the world number 1. Sipovic and Majub win their bronze medal matches. The minus 68 kilogram division had 2 early exits that took me by surprise, as world number 8 Nissim Brook and the world number 5 Tsubasa Kama left in the elimination rounds, setting up the quarterfinals where Irina Zaretska would defeat Pamela Bodai 3-1, Talia Sombre defeats Hannah Rydell 4-3, Elina Silemeniva defeats Robin Zwanenberg 4-2, and Alana Corsi and Hadir Hendy fight to a 0-0 draw where Corsi takes the decision. In the final 4, Sombre beats Zareska 5-3, and Corsi gets past Silemeniva 2-0, giving us the final between the top 2 in the world as Corsi and Sombre face off. This time it would be Corsi who would take home her 10th Premier League gold after a close 2-1 victory. Silemeniva and Zareska both win bronze. The over 68 kilogram division is the only female Kumite division where there was no surprises in the elimination round. The final 8 saw Maria Garcia require the Senchu to get past Nicolina Golumbos after a 1-1 tied match. Sofia Bertselva etches out Xenia Gabala 4-3. Rochelle Walters beats Dora Fleischer 2-0, and Joanna Kinnear defeats Daria Boulay 7-2. In the semifinals, it was Bertselva over Garcia 4-2, and Walters taking out the world number 2 Kinnear 4-3. In the finals, Walter and Bertselva showed how good their defense was, as these two fought to a 2-1 match with Bertselva coming out on top. And this win also makes her perfect in the 2026 Premier League season thus far, making her the target that everyone is shooting for on their way to the top. The bronze medals went home with Garcia and Kinnear. In the female kata division, the world number 9 Ana Cruz would be the only top-ranked athlete to exit early in Rome. The quarterfinals saw Paola Lozano's Chetnara Kusanku defeat Teriana D'Onofrio Super Impe 6-1. Maha Ono uses Chibana no Kusanku to get past Natsugi Shimizu's Super Impe 4-3. A battle of Kusanku between Kiri Mishima and Hisami Nakaji as Mishima's Chetnara was more than enough to get past her opponent's Chibana by a score of 6-1. And it was all Grace Lau with her performance of Chibana no Kusanku was enough to beat Elena Reversi's Chetnara no Kusanku, with all 7 judges going towards Lau. In the final 4, Ono would run Chetnara Kusanku, and it would be enough to defeat Lozano's Super Impe 5-2. Lau's Paparin would just edge out Mishima's Super Impe 4-3, setting up the final that we are all beginning to expect, because it seems like these two in every tournament now. Both opted to run Chetnara Kusanku, with all 7 judges going the way of Lau. The bronze medals went home with Lozano and Mishima. World number 7, Sotni Sordia, has an early day as he would leave in the elimination rounds of the minus 60 kilogram division, as he would be joined by world number 3, Christos Zinos, having a short day as well. The quarterfinal started off with Ahmed Akhmedov and Miras Abdi Kadir fighting to a 0-0 draw where Akhmedov would be awarded the decision. Barak Ozdemir defeats Angelo Crevenzo 5-3. Merkgridin Tarakanov defeats Carmine Luciano 5-4, and Hiramu Hashimoto beats Mert Halisi 5-0. Setting up a final 4 where Akhmedov defeats Ozdemir by the Senchu advantage, and Hashimoto beats Tarakanov 7-5. Setting up the final between the world number 1 Hashimoto and Akhmedov. And this time it would be Akhmedov that would take matters in his own hands and win by a score of 9-2 to secure his first Premier League medal. Halisi and Abdi Kadir would both win their bronze medal matches. The minus 67 kilogram division only had one top athlete get eliminated in the first round, and that honor belongs to Georgios Baliotis. The top 8 of the bracket started out with Eric Organisian defeating Mohamed Ashraf 4-1. Yugo Kozaki defeats Abdul Rashidov 1-0 to advance. Then Abdel Omara defeats Matej Balisto Janoski 2-0, and Luka Maresca shocks everyone by beating the world number 2 Saito Baya 7-3. In the semifinals, it was Kozaki over Oganessian 3-1, and Omara defeating Maresca by disqualification, setting up the final between the world number 1 Kozaki and Omara, where Kozaki would show why he is the world number 1, taking home his 3rd Premier League gold. Maresca and Rashidov would secure the bronze medals. With the top spot up for grabs in the minus 75 kilogram division, no one seems to want to take it, as the world number 2 Andriy Zaplitny, the world number 3 Nurkanat Azhikanov, world number 4 Enos Sharafutdinov, and the world number 7 Omer Yur all came up short and left early in the bracket. As the final 8 started to shape up, Hirori Pitzel defeats Daniel DeVivo 7-1, Raki Funado defeats Yusei Sakiyama 4-0, Quinton Mohammed walks through Ricardo Franken 7-0, and Abdallah Abdigalwad defeats Enos Bullet 5-3. The semis kick off with Pitzel edging out Funada 4-3 and Malhadin, defeating Abdigalwad 1-0, setting up a final between the former grand winner Malhadin and the up-and-comer Pitzel. They fought to a 2-2 tie, and Pitzel would win via the Senchu advantage, securing his first Premier League medal of his career. The bronze medals went home with DeVivo and Franken. Huge shock in the minus 84 kilogram division as the reigning world champion Youssef Badawi fails to advance out of the elimination pool, leaving us with the quarterfinals that start off with Rikito Shimada beating Brian Timmermans 4-1. Edward Gasparian defeats Nikita Tarnakin 3-0. Same score in the next match as Matteo Fiore beats Omer Osman. And the last match of the round came to a 0-0 draw between George Salapura and Ilias Somas, while Salapura would be awarded the decision. In the final 4, Gasparian defeats Shimada by a score of 9-5, and Fiore over Salapura 3-0, setting up the final between Fiore and Gasparian. And this match did not disappoint, as it was the most exciting final of the event. But at the end, it would be Fiore that would secure a 9-8 win for his first Premier League gold. Osman and Tarnakin both would win bronzes. And in the last Kumite division of the event, the over 84 kilogram division started out with the world number 2 Taha Mahmoud and the world number 3 Rodrigo Rojas both exiting early in the elimination round. The quarterfinals started off with Anis Bostancic defeating DS Anarbekov 6-1. Elhassan Mohammed won a close match over Matteo Avanzini. Angelo Krivesic defeats Kentaro Yamuchi 3-2, and Ivan Kuznau beats Yuta Mari 4-0. In the final four, Bostancic and Mohammed fight to a 0-0 draw where Mohammed would get the decision, and Krivesic defeats Kuznau 2-1, setting up a final where Mohammed would see his first Premier League final and Krivesic his second. And this match would go in Kvesic's favor as he won 5-1 to secure his second Premier League gold medal. Kuznau and Avanzini would win their bronze medal matches. The world number 4, Enes Özdemir, would get knocked out in the elimination rounds in male kata, and that would be the only surprise in the elimination pool. The final 8 started out with Alessio Giannami's Unsu beating Ryuji Moto Sochin 7-0. Ariel Torres opts to run Ohan Dai and defeats the Kusanko of Raul Romero 5-2. Super Impe of Kotaro Ohata defeats the Godoshiho Dai of Kazmoto 6-1. And the Paparin of Kakuro Nishiyama defeats Aoi Funada's Chatnara Kusanku 6-1. In the semifinals, Torres breaks out a new kata for him and would run Super Impe against Giannami's Godoshiho Dai and win 6-1. And the Super Impe of Nishiyama was too much for Ohata Sochin as he would win 6-1. Setting up the showdown that we have all been waiting to see for a couple of events now. The world number 1 and world number 2 square off against each other for gold. Torres opted to run Super Impe and Nishiyama went with Shibana no Kusanku, which would be enough to secure the gold medal, once again bringing his win streak up to 14 events. The bronze medals went home with Giannami and Ohata. My biggest takeaway from Rome has to be the influx of youth in the Kumite division. What makes this more interesting is that this is a non-Worlds year. So are the younger fighters starting to make their move to position themselves for the Worlds next year? It's a little early to tell at this point, but it is apparent that some of them are making big moves and the rest of the season is going to be very interesting in the rankings. Another thing I'm seeing is a lack of U.S. athletes on the Premier League this season. There were only 2 in Rome, but more notably, where has Sakura been? She did team trials this year, so I got to assume that she's going to be at Pan Ams, but no Premier Leagues this year at all. Trinity Allen has been MIA for a minute, and she's in a division that doesn't have a breakout star anymore, and it's up for grabs, and she hasn't been there to stake her claim. Lastly, Eder Chagilian could be making a mark in his Kumite division as well. It is noticeable because we were starting to see a bigger presence on the Premier League up until this year, and now we're not. So I hope this starts trending back to where it was in 2025 and we start seeing more U.S. athletes on the Premier League as we were trending that way already. Lastly, got to speak about the WKF's decision to make you have to pay to watch the Premier League finals on YouTube. One of the best things about the WKF as a fan is that you could watch everything live, and if not live, you had access to all the competitions to watch for free. Now, this helps a country like America that, to be fair, WKF doesn't have a big following or draw just yet. So if it comes down to people having to pay to watch it, they will most likely opt out, which is bad for the growth of the sport. And I hope that this is something that they will reconsider. But we all know how this goes is, once they start getting money for it, it's never going to go back to being free. And I think that's a shame. But with that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Traditional Way. Join me on the next episode where I'll cover the Youth League event from Zimbabwe. Until then, continue to support the Martial Arts Internet Network and all of our content. Until next time, guys.